Today we're going to learn about value and value scales. Value, as you guys know, is the relative difference of lightness and darkness on the surface of an object. Or it could be the lightness or darkness of a color. One way to analyze value is to create something called a value scale. A value scale is a scientific way of breaking down the values into different categories. There's two ends to your scale, the low end and the high end. Guess I should make that capital. We're going to use a pencil today. Pencil doesn't have to be sharp. We're going to use a value technique called modeling. You guys sometimes call that blending. I think the easiest thing is to recognize that the highest end of this scale is absolutely the lightest. So the lightest that we can make the white of the paper is to do nothing to it. So boom, we're done with that one. The lowest end of the scale is the exact opposite. They're high contrast. So the easiest way to make that is to lay your pencil down on the side and to evenly build up value over the entire surface of the block. You want to work the pencil until it goes absolutely as darkest as you can get it. Pushing the pencil, I turn my paper so I can get into the corners and sort of stay inside the lines that I make. Because I drew them, so I should be able to stay inside them. Next, what you want to do is you want to determine the difference between white and black, or all and nothing. So the human brain is really good at doing halves. So we're going to go into the middle, which is called the middle value. Oh, yeah. That's a big surprise, and create a middle value. Again, turn my pencil on the side, but I'll move my fingers back a little bit so that I can adjust the pressure because I want to slowly build up to 0.5%, or excuse me, 50%, or a half tone. I'll go different ways. That way you can get a nice smooth application, which is what modeling is all about. You don't want to see the individual strokes of your pencil. Every now and then I'll stop and I'll ask, is this half? I don't think so. I think that needs a little bit more, so I'm going to add some more. You can go in circles, you can go up and down, back and forth, but you want to develop it to half. It's kind of like old-timey photos. You're developing it. Next, you do the same thing. Half between 50% and nothing is 25. So you, again, I'm going to move my fingers back a little bit, reducing the pressure on the pencil. Turning the paper so that I can get into the corners and stay inside the lines that I drew. And I'm aiming for half between 50% and nothing. Then I go in and I do what's called the middle low. Here I'm going to move my fingers up towards the tip so I can put a little bit more pressure down. Turning the paper again, pushing the graphite into the corners so that you develop somewhere between as dark as you can make it and halfway. Notice it's layering and layering and layering and layering, trying to stay even with your pressure until you develop it. When you're done, you should have a pretty good value scale that goes from everything to nothing. Again, the low end is the darkest. If you think of the low notes on a bass line in a song, they're bong, bong, bong. Low frequency, very, very strong. And then high frequency, almost there, you can't even hear it at all. All right, and that is value and value scale using modeling.